Haha! I bet you were not expecting a special move. Oh, come on! Hello, everybody! Today I have a run with the main legendary from Ruby. Personally, I have never liked Groudon that much. His design doesn't really tell me anything, and he is a lot worse to use compared to Kyogre or Rayquaza. There is also the small fact that he is a physical attacker, so he will get ruined by all of the intimidate Pokémons in the region. At the very least, his move pool is quite good, and his base stats total is extremely high, but that's the least you can expect for a legendary. Like any other Pokemon, he is also bound by the run rules, so I can only use it in combat. I can't use any consumables in combat. I can't raise my evasion and I can't use any cheats or glitches. Compared to Kyogre, Groudon's start is a lot worse. Instead of a good, reliable move like Water Pulse, he gets Mud Shot, which has a bit less power, but most importantly is not 100% accurate. I gave May Mudkip. While it's probably weaker than Trico against us, it felt more right to switch Groudon for Torchic instead of Mudkip. It's also going to line up better for next week's Pokemon. We then have to fight the Grunt in the forest, and thankfully, even if I just bashed on Mudshot, it's still enough to take care of Poochyena. Up next is the fight against the first gym leader. Even if I leveled a little bit more, I would only get Ancient Power, which is a decent move, but it does not help against Roxanne. So Mudshot has to save the day once again. One advantage that Groudon has in this gym is the fact that he resists rock moves, so there is no risk of us dying. Maybe next week you'll have a chance, Roxanne. After rescuing Pico, which is arguably Groudon's worst enemy, typing-wise, I took on May. This time, Torkoal, while not easy, it's also weak to rock, so she does not cause many problems. Mudkip is also not great, so it dies to an ancient power. And then I took the not so wise decision to fight the next gym. Since Groudon is a legendary, I did not expect to lose to Brawly. You might be expecting me to blame it on a crit or something like that, but no, Groudon just has a very hard time with this guy. And if that was not bad enough, I forgot to go heal before starting the fight, so now Groudon has a very limited amount of PPs for Mudshot. So I actually ran out against the Makuhita and had to use resisted rock moves instead. Thankfully I get a boost, but that would not have been enough anyway. Fortunately, the RNG gods smile upon me and I got a crit too, so I did not have to get humiliated once again. Now that we have dealt with what was somehow the worst fight in the run, we can get back to something easier and trample on the next fight, where we have to stop two Team Aqua Grunts who are trying to steal some mechanical parts that we have been tasked to deliver by Steven Stone himself. I don't have much to say about the fight, they were very weak and all of their Pokémons got one-shotted. After Archie is done bragging, we have to take on the May 2 fight. Her team is quite good, but fortunately we just learned Slash. which is a nice move. Good power, reliable accuracy, so I'm going to use that to cruise through this fight. Thanks to our bulk, even if she gets a couple hits on us, we can finish very easily. Next up is the fight against the next gym. Watson is usually quite hard, but this time he is a joke. We are grounded, so we don't take any damage from his stab electric moves, and Mudshot gets to shine one last time in this fight, since all of his Pokémons are weak to it, and we are done, quick and painless. After getting the badge and doing some more exploration, we have to stop Maxi from triggering a volcano eruption. His lead is my Tiena, who lowers my attack with Intimidate. Since we are a physical attacker, that is very bad for us. Thankfully, we are super effective on most of his team, so we can get through it without any major issues. After stopping him, the next obstacle in our path is Flannery, but to be fair, it's hard to even call her a speed bump. Groudon learned Earthquake not that long ago, and all of her Pokémons are weak to it, so this fight is just another sweep. I'm not even worried about Torkoal surviving, because Groudon is doing a crazy amount of damage for this point in the game. Once we earned the Heat badge, we must go back and take on the normal type gym. Even if we are not super effective on this one, the strategy is still the same. Spam Earthquake and destroy our dead team. It starts really well, but like for Kyogre, I am sort of worried about slacking. Since this time I had a lot more base power, I thought he would die, but instead I get yawned too. Unfortunately, this time we can't make use of the Surf HM, which is fair but also not really, considering that Pokémons like Rhydon and Aggron can learn it. Anyway, next we have to deal with May again. The girl never learns that she stands no chance against me, and as expected, her team is a pushover, not to mention the fact that we are still carrying Earthquake, so anything that does not resist it is automatically dead. And then we have to do a gym that does not resist it, but completely ignores it. All of Winona's Pokémons are part flying, so we have to take her down some other way. Luckily for us, I'm still carrying Ancient Power. The damage is kinda low, but the super effective makes up for it. I also got a Flamethrower, specifically because of Skarmory. Also, thanks to the sun that we set up with the drought, fire moves are going to do quite a bit of damage. Once we earned the Feather Badge, we should resume the main story, but instead I took a small detour and fought May for the last time. Her team is quite weak, so we can defeat her with no problems in a couple of turns. She didn't even get the chance to play the game, which is kinda sad if I have to be honest. Once she runs out of Pokémons, I can climb Mount Pyre and get the Magma Emblem, so I can enter the secret cave where Groudon sleeps. Unfortunately, we arrive too late and Maxi attacks us. This time I have Flamethrower to ignore the Intimidate and defeat my Tiena in one shot. Somehow Crobat lives on a sliver. I'm very surprised about that. our special attack is not even that bad. At the very least, I don't hit myself in confusion and can finish it with an earthquake. After showing Maxi the power of the gods, we have to resume the badge collection. The next gym is the psychic one. Tate and Liza were not so easy because I didn't really have a move for them. Surprisingly, Groudon can't learn Shadow Ball, so the only move I could use for the two meteors is Ancient Power, since everything else is resisted. I was hoping in an Omni Boost from it, but as usual it does not happen. Solrock is very smart and uses my sun to blast me with a super effective solar beam, and then Lunaton is priority number one because I don't want to go to sleep. For some reason, it does not use hypnosis, so we are free to take him down. And then I get the boost to finish the Claydol with a return. All things considered, this fight went very well. I would not have been surprised if I had to reset once or twice. We then have to do another double fight, because the next obstacle in our path is the leadership of Team Magma. And to be honest, even if I finished Emerald 100 times, I still have no idea why they are trying to take over this building. I thought they loved the ground, not space. Doesn't matter, we still have to kick their butt. I was a bit of a dick because I took out Metang with an earthquake, and then I paid for it because Aggron is totally useless. Thankfully, Groudon rolled a nat 20 on strength, so we can carry the dead weight by our side all the way to the goal. After we get the reward for helping Steven, we can reach the sunken grotto where Kyogre resides and get attacked again, this time by the other evil team leader. Archie's team is slightly more scary than Maxi because Sharpedo is a bit better against us. Unfortunately for him, my level is way too high, so I can defeat his whole team before they can lay a finger on me. Even if we demolished Archie, the orb in his inventory activates on its own, and with that, Kyogre rises from its slumber and pieces out to pick a fight with Groudon. Since we have some time to kill while the most epic cutscene plays, why don't you scroll down a little and press the subscribe and the bell button so that you are informed whenever I upload a new video. The last gym leader that we have to take on is Juan and his water types. It might seem like a hard fight for Groudon, since they are all super effective on me, but unfortunately for them, they are all neutral to ground, so they can't leave an earthquake from the god of the lands. And so, in a handful of turns, we took care of him too. Once we have all 8 badges in our pocket, we can start exploring the Victory Road. Here, as usual, we find Wally, who wants to fight us. His team is mostly specially defensive, with Altaria and Gardevoir, so for once we have the advantage, since we are a physical attacker. I am also higher level than what I was with Kyogre, so Wally doesn't stand a chance. What's your opinion on him? Do you like him or not? I do, and I would have loved to see him more in the game. Before starting the league, I used the rare candies and learned Solar Beam. So I am starting it with half of my moveset being special. The first member is Sidney, and of course, the main problem is the Intimidate from Mightyena. Thankfully, as I just mentioned, half of my moves are special, so I can use those to get around the lower attack. Shift 3 outspeeds me because of chlorophyll, but thankfully I don't hit myself in confusion, so I can finish the fight with the first Elite Four. After him, we have to deal with Phoebe. The only problem with her could be if I can't take out her lead before it uses Curse. Thankfully, after he is done protecting, one earthquake is enough for him. From here, I don't really care if they attack me, as they most likely are not able to defeat me. I switched moves against Banette because I was not sure if it has levitate or not, so I played it safe. And a couple more turns of slaughter later, we are done with the second member. Glacia is the third one, and I'm kinda scared about her. She has a lot of ice moves on her team that are super effective on me and are not weakened by the sun. Thankfully, she does not have Intimidate or Levitate, so I can Earthquake the Walruses and Erupt on the Glalis to get another easy win on her. I then thought Dragonclaw that I got from Meteor Falls to Groudon, because the last member of the Elite Four specializes in dragons, and I can't hit half of his team with Earthquake, so I needed another way to defeat them. For some reason, Dragon type is special in this generation, so I have to use my lower special attack, and because of that, Altaria survives a hit. Thankfully, I don't get paralyzed by Dragon Breath, and after a few full restores, it goes down to. Surprisingly, Flygon and then Salamence do not leave a hit, so we are done with all of the Elite Four and only have the champion left. Unfortunately, I lost once against him because they used Toxic on me and I forgot to equip a Pechaberry. During the second attempt, I had Groudon hold the berry so I can save myself from another early grave. Since his team is mostly made of water types, I spammed Solar Beam because thanks to the sun, it's a one-turn move. As expected, Milotic uses Toxic, but this time I will not be defeated so easily. With the Beauty Eel killed, the Sombrero guy quickly follows, but then Gyarados, thanks to his surprisingly good special defense, hangs on for an extra turn. And so with that, we ended the game using a physical attacker with mostly special moves, because that makes sense somehow. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share and subscribe, as well as write something down in the comments to boost the engagement and feed the algorithm. Feedback is also welcome. See you next week. Bye!